if the sands of Karbala never turned red? What if Imam Hussain, the grandson of the Prophet, had chosen silence instead of sacrifice? Would history remember him? Would hearts still tremble hearing his name? Would Karbala still echo in the soul of every rebel, every seeker of truth? Today we open a forbidden door, an alternate path, a timeline that never happened but could have. The year was 680 AD. The caliphate had changed. Yazid had claimed power, through force, not faith. And the world watched, most bowed. Some stayed silent. But Hussein, he stood up, with only his family, his children, his companions. He walked into the desert, not with an army, but with purpose. But what if he had done what most do? What if he bowed his head and chose peace over pain? Let's imagine. The caravan never leaves Medina. There is no cry from Zainab, no thirst in the desert, no 10th of Muharram to mourn. Imam Hussain lives, but silently. And with his silence dies a message. Without Karbala, Yazid's rule is unchallenged, not just politically, but morally. Without Hussein's stand, who teaches the world that even one man can stand against injustice? Who proves that blood is sometimes louder than words? Without Karbala, resistance dies early. Tyranny becomes tradition. Truth becomes relative. Islam continues, yes. But its spine, its moral compass, cracks. Because sometimes silence is not peace. Sometimes silence is betrayal of your values, your soul, your legacy. And that is what makes Hussein eternal. Today we face our own Yazids. In our schools, in our offices, in our screens, in our minds. Toxic leaders, fake narratives, injustice disguised as order. And like then, most stay silent. Some bow, but deep inside us there's a voice, a fire, a question. Will you speak or stay safe? If Hussein had stayed safe, history would have forgotten him. But because he walked willingly into Karbala, he became time-proof. Not a king, not a conqueror, but a standard, a lighthouse for the storm. But imagine if he didn't. Would you still have the courage today to stand up if even Hussein hadn't? Would Karbala still exist inside us? Or would it just be another erased story, buried under sand and silence? You see, Karbala was never just about swords. It was about the refusal to let fear decide your fate. It was about knowing death would come, but walking anyway. Imam Hussein's choice wasn't just brave, it was necessary. He sacrificed his life so that generations could learn how to live with dignity. So now ask yourself, in a world begging you to conform, will you speak? Will you stand? Will you remember Karbala not just as history, but as a map? Because truth will always demand sacrifice, and silence sometimes costs more than death.